if you've seen the movie Aladdin, or have heard about the movie Aladdin, or know anything about Aladdin and the three wishes from the genie, then you've thought about what your three wishes would be. And maybe that was a long time ago. I know that before I started making this video, I had not thought about it in a long time. This question is something I realized tells you a lot about a person. So if you want to know about someone, then I would ask them this question, but I would ask them one-on-one. And this only goes if you're two mature adults speaking of this question seriously. Because if it's made into a joke, then it loses all its purpose and meaning. So next time you're with someone you want to know more about, whether that be a friend, whether that be a partner, I think you should sit down and have a genuine conversation. One-on-one. One-on-one is important because people will try to appeal to someone else if they think there's other people there. But one-on-one is important. Just sit down and ask them, if you had three wishes, no constraints, no nothing, no strings attached, no freeing the genie too, you had all three wishes, what would they be? And I encourage people listening to this to pause and think about what would your three wishes be. And really think about it. Really turn it over in your mind. Just think about what it is that you desire from these three wishes. What are the three things you desire most? And really, that's what these wishes are going to tell us. What whoever you're asking desires the most. What do they want more than anything? And if you got an honest answer, I'm going to break down some common ones as well as my three wishes and say what I think they tell you about someone else. So let's start with some common ones. First of all, to find true love. That is a big one. Now, many of you may think this is reflective of loneliness, but really it's not. It doesn't reflect loneliness. It reflects, I think, more of a fear that in the future you will not find true love. Or that you've been looking for it and you haven't found it. Or you're in a relationship that's unfulfilling. But finding true love can say a few things, but I don't think it reflects loneliness. Another good one is to be rich. That's a common one. Now, what does this say about people? I think a lot of people throw this in. It's money allows you to do so many things. If someone you're doing this exercise with says, I want to be rich, ask them to say something else. It's just being rich can mean so many things. It means you could want money to buy a zoo. I don't know. But money can mean so many different things. Ask them to be a little more specific. Money for what? And if it's multiple things, just ask them to pick one thing. It's just, that's such a broad thing. And if you picked to be rich, then I encourage you to rethink what you want the riches for. And if it's for you want to get your parents a dream house or whatever, something like that, I encourage you to switch out whatever you would use that money for in your wish. Just so we can learn a little more about each other in this exercise. Another one is, I think this is more of a category, but world peace, ending world hunger, ending world water insecurity, things like that. These selfless wishes. Now, if you didn't include one of these, don't feel bad. I'm going to share my top 3, and I didn't include one of these. And I don't think you're selfish if you didn't include one of these. Those of you who did include these, pat yourself on the back, because I think including one of these is in your wishes, and if you see someone else doing that, I think that's a great sign. I think that shows selflessness. I think a lack of those wishes doesn't necessarily show selfishness, because in this exercise, you're most likely going to think about yourself, and that's okay. But I think wishing something for the greater good, wishing something for other people, that shows a kindness in that person or selflessness in that person. And depending on what it is, it shows you kind of what they're concerned about in the world. So ending wars would be they're concerned about wars in the world. Ending world hunger, maybe they dealt with food insecurity at one point, or see it happening, or know someone who has dealt with food insecurity. So, I mean, there's great responses. So if you hear this from someone else, don't change your answers now to this just because it's a selfless answer. But if you hear someone saying one of these selfless things for something else, for someone else, I should say, it's a great sign, I think. Now I'm going to introduce my 3 wishes, and they're a little less common, but you'll see. So my first wish would be for me to be able to speak, write, read, and understand any language in the world. Number 2 would be to maintain, for the rest of my life, to maintain the health that I'm at now. The mobility, the flexibility, the my organs, to maintain the health that I am right now for the rest of my life. Now, this doesn't mean I want to be immortal. This just means I want to be mobile. Just think of like an 80-year-old, but with the movability, the athleticism of a 20-year-old. That would be one of my wishes. And my third and final wish would be to be able to travel anywhere in the world whenever. So I want to go to Italy, I take a flight there. I want to go to South Africa, I just take a flight there. I want to go to Canada, I can just drive there. It just drop whatever I'm doing and travel. And so those are my wishes. Now, what do those say about me? Or what do I think they say about me? And you can make your own guesses of what you think they say about me. I think the first one, the language one, says that I like to connect with people. I like to be able to meet people where they're most comfortable. I'm sure many of you who are bilingual, multilingual, will concur that you feel most comfortable in your first language. So I like to be able to meet people where they're most comfortable and just talk with them. I think I like people so much. I kind of just want to talk with people. I want to have people feel at ease when they speak to me. So I think that's what that wish says about me. I think if I were to sum it up, I would say I like people. Now my second wish tells you I value my health. I value my ability to move and be an athlete. And that is something that's really important to me. So I would say for number 2, health is important to me. And make sure when you're doing this exercise, just in your head, just kind of do this with your partner, whoever you're doing this exercise with. I think it's really interesting when you break it down, because when someone gives you this big grand wish, it's like, wow, okay. But what does it really tell you about the person? What does it really mean? What do they really desire? What does that wish fulfill for them? And my third wish, to be able to travel, I think shows that I want to see the world, obviously, but I'm interested in other cultures. And you may not be able to tell from this wish, but I'm also interested in nature and seeing the plants, the animals in other countries, the mountain ranges in other continents. Not necessarily you can tell that from the wish, but just that's something that I feel is important. Just seeing the world and seeing the nature of the world, and then the cultures of the world, the history of the world. I think the cultures and the history you can tell from that wish, not so much the nature, but that's okay. I think if you want to ask your partner to elaborate, I think that's a great idea. But I wouldn't push into anything you think might be too sensitive. But I'm sure you'll be able to tell that when you're one-on-one. So anyway, those are my wishes. Please throw your wishes in the comments, and I'd love to try and guess what I think they say about you. And I'd love to hear your opinions on my wishes and what you think they say about me. Maybe things that I haven't already said. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day.